Good morning. My name is Peter Nilsson, and today we're going to be looking at refugees and IDP people in Pakistan. A refugee is a person who's fled conflict or disaster in their homeland. For whatever reason, people are forced to leave their homes under violent circumstances, often by forces beyond their control, and we see this concept play out again and again in modern Pakistan. We're also going to look at internally displaced persons, or IDPs. They're exactly like refugees but differ in that they do not cross national borders in search of relief. People leave their homes to escape conflict. Most recently, refugees in Pakistan have been forced away from their homes by natural disasters such as flooding, but more importantly, Islamic extremism. The first people who could be termed refugees came to Pakistan in 1947 after the British pulled out of the Indian subcontinent. The partition of India forced around 7.2 million Indian Muslims into the newly created state of Pakistan, and many of these refugees settled around major cities like Lahore and Karachi. The second wave of refugees came from Afghanistan. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979, and by 1986 over 3.6 million Afghans had fled into Pakistan. Um, the Pashtun people inhabit much of southern Afghanistan and northern Pakistan, so it makes sense for Pashtun families to seek refuge with family members across the border. Many Afghans settled in and around the city of Peshawar, and to this day that area remains highly Afghan-centric. The Soviets left defeated in 1989, and the power vacuum gave rise to the Taliban, who took over the government in 1996. Islamic extremism has prompted thousands more to leave their homes since then. According to the United Nations Refugee Agency, Pakistan currently harbors around 1.4 million documented Afghan refugees. These people live in refugee camps. This picture was taken at the Kungi refugee camp in Khyber province in northern Pakistan. Whole families are packed into cramped living quarters, and men, women, and children endure harsh winters and blinding summers. Hygiene is basic at best, and disease and infections run rampant. Sadly, children are often the victims of such conditions. Basic food and water are donated by foreign agencies and foreign governments, and administered by the Pakistani government and UN agencies. These camps are meant to serve as a temporary shelter for refugees, but the time spent here can range from months to years, depending on the severity of the conflict. The Pakistani government provides land, birth certificates, limited public education, and basic health care. These resources are strained at best, but the people are still allowed to find work and enjoy the protection of the Pakistani government. The Pakistani government and UN agencies have worked to repatriate over 3.6 million Afghans since 2002. Sometimes refugees come back because it's simply unsafe at home, putting more strain on our already fragile system. As Islamic extremism bleeds into northwest Pakistan, many more people are forced to leave their homes. We call them internally displaced persons. Large-scale displacement is caused by natural disaster and civil conflict. As of last year, there were over 700,000 displaced Pakistanis in Pakistan. Most of these people came from the Fatah or Khyber provinces, where Islamic insurgent groups remain strong. While some live with relatives in safer areas in urban cities, many people are forced into IDP camps. The IDP population in Pakistan peaked at over 1 million people in 2014. Earthquakes and floods have affected over 20 million people since 2008. Refugees and internally displaced persons are not just statistics on a page. They are people who have suffered because of civil conflict and natural disasters. Some critics see refugee camps as expensive and troublesome, but such camps provide shelter to those who otherwise may have been killed. Thanks for watching.